Yeah, this is just an open question to, people who were familiar with John Snyder even before the haves and the have-nots. And, I grew up watching the Dukes of Hazzard. Sorry, truck cranking up in the parking lot there. The Dukes of Hazzard, I remember as a kid, but, I think as we began to get cable and whatnot, my television choices obviously changed. More anime one Saturday morning, Fox Kids, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, as well as like TGIF. But I think when that transition happened in my life, that's when I stopped watching. Well, actually, no. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't it come on TV Land? Because Chips, Sanford and Son, All in the Family, Dragnet, Gilligan's Island. I never watched MASH. I was never a fan of that show for some reason. Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie. My goodness. The Beverly Hillbillies, Green Acres. Like I grew up watching all that stuff as well on TV Land. But yeah, like shows that I know I just completely grew out of, like Married with Children. Yeah, that's one of the main ones. But really, the reason I'm doing this video is obviously with John Snyder on Dancing with the Stars. The darn song he was dancing to is like "Just the Good Old Boys." I mean, that's been stuck in my head, so I obviously Googled it, and that was the theme song to Dukes of Hazzard. And then that prompted me to watch every single opening of the Dukes of Hazzard on YouTube. And I was like, well, you know what? For nostalgia's sake, let me see how much the DVDs are. And I'm like, it's like $17 per season. I'm like, nah, maybe Black Friday. I'll see if there's a discount. But luckily enough, my Amazon Prime membership allows me to see the Dukes of Hazzard for free. So I watched like 3 episodes, and I'm like, yo, this show still holds up. It's still pretty good. And I never watched Smallville. I never got into it. I mean, that was at a point in my life where I never really watched superhero shows. Like, I grew up watching Static Shock, Batman, Batman Beyond, Superman animated series, Justice League and whatnot. Basically, I believe the Timverse after Bruce Timm, or the DCAU, the DC Comics animated universe. But I don't think I was really into the live action until I finally saw Flash on CW back in like 2015-ish. So basically, John Snyder was in Smallville. I watched a couple of clips of Smallville on YouTube, and now I want to watch it because of John Snyder. So, I mean, if anything, I just feel like watching those shows. I watched several interviews with, the Dukes of Hazzard's cast and John Snyder and everything. And just watching those videos and whatnot have given me more appreciation for John Snyder, which transitions to getting a feel for how the character of Jim Cryer is really kind of a stretch or a different direction from the John Snyder I grew up watching on television. And I really find it funny because in my head, I'm just trying to put together a mental timeline of the haves and the have-nots. If like, okay, what does Jim Cryer in his high school younger days look like Bo from the Dukes of Hazzard? Could that definitely, I mean, because he was kind of like a rebel in that television show, obviously not from a rich family. So can you imagine if he was driving to General Lee to high school and stuff like that, and that's where he met Catherine? That I mean, I know it's not likely, but I thought it was just funny just looking at that kind of angle of it. And, Catherine being young, and maybe that's how, Jim Cryer was such a flirt and not really committed to one woman because he was the apple of ladies' eyes. So I could definitely see that. I mean, hey, it makes sense to me. But I mean, given the fact how, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has a very, very good, well, high budget for one, very talented with their CGI, how to make older characters appear younger. I think we saw this with Kurt Russell, Michael Douglas, the guy that played the original, Hank Pym, the original Ant-Man. I believe in Ant-Man and Wasp, they also did that with Michelle Pfeiffer. So could you imagine if Tyler Perry in like flashback scenes or a movie or a prequel got, he could just get younger versions of the cast or somehow do CGI to make the characters younger. Can you imagine seeing John Snyder looking like Bo again in terms of like, I mean, less wrinkles and different hair colors, and he looks almost the same. But just my opinion. But yeah, just let me know. Have you went back to kind of rewatch some of John's earlier work? Did you grow up watching the shows? Yeah, just let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. But I feel like for me, just being one person, it just goes back to how being on Dancing with the Stars in the first place really reignited interest in going back to look at John's earlier stuff, which again is the purpose of the show. Even if he got eliminated first, his presence was still known to everyone, and they will be more willing to go back and look at, oh, he was on Dukes of Hazzard, oh, Smallville, and the haves and the have-nots. So mission accomplished. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And between the haves and the have-nots, Smallville and Dukes of Hazzard, and I'm aware he's been on other stuff as well, which has been your favorite John Schneider performance?